Here we have a really beautiful landscape with a garden with the play frame, which was going. So now this small garden could be transformed from a children's play area into a garden. And we need to take into consideration this beautiful landscape. One of the problems with this space at the moment is it's very flat. We just have a flat lawn and we have a vertical fence. So we need to lose that and potentially also create some kind of entrance so that as we're coming up from where the cars are parked to the house, we feel we've got a route with something nice to walk through rather than it just being an open space. If I now go and take the view back to the house, you can see how we're going to approach the property. And if we're going to lose this play frame now, we can now start to think about what shapes we can put in. With any small garden, simple lines are the best. And also continuity. If we can create the impression that the lawn or the flower beds are moving around the corner in one sinuous movement, it gives the garden a sense that it's joined together, even though the path is right up the middle. So let me just make that a bit smaller because it seems to be a bit big, that central bed. But in this area here, we also need to create some height. Because we're walking up from the cars up to the house. If we put in, say, pergolas or arches, it may feel a bit like we're coming through a tunnel. It might be a bit too much for this small space. But vertical posts that we could maybe string a rope and post pergola and throw some pretty climbers across can give us a visually vertical punctuation mark. When it comes to the planting, the main focus is to disguise the artificial line, which is the fence, because we've got the landscape beyond. We want to blur that fence line into the landscape, and the best way to do this is to use plants that will rise above the fence line, and if they're like grasses, those will move in the breeze. That will help then hide the fence behind it, and it will draw our eye above the fence and look beyond into the countryside. So if I now just put some squiggles on these posts, you can see that we could plant them up and they could be climbers, and then we can add some other borders in around this outbuilding. It needs just a little bit extra. We need some colour in the garden, and in a small space like this, just choose one or two really bold colours that will join all parts of the garden together. That just a few plants makes a lovely difference to this garden.